Okay, so it seems like there's been another update to the Takahata101 situation. If you guys saw the last video, then we went through his entire Google Doc, which was 8 pages long and explained a lot to do with what has happened on behind the scenes with a person called Mistress Doom VT. Now, obviously, you know, it was a very interesting article and we read through it all, and it did seem like it made a lot of sense, as, you know, we haven't really found out the true things that he was being accused of until around about now, and obviously he's being accused of some, you know, kind of sexual things, which obviously isn't great, but obviously he explained his situation and how everything transpired, and, you know, obviously a lot of people have been on his side due to a lot of this coming out. But it does seem like, obviously, Mistress Doom has come up with a response after this has actually come out, which we were going to go through. And also, I wanted to go through a tweet with Alicia X live as well, who responded to the earlier tweet, not the one with the Google Doc, but the one that he put out before that, which we also covered as well. So, essentially, yeah, Mistress Doom said, "Hello, this is the carer of Mistress Doom." So this isn't actually her. This is the person who cares for her, saying, "Some of you may know me as Jimmy," and posting this brief statement on her account on her behalf so that she does not have to traumatize herself further. These are her words for now. So finally, a chance to speak after a year and a bit of suffering from one's actions. Well, kind of speak. They said this is an active police investigation. Nothing about this case should be public, as it is in the hands of the police and actively being investigated. This has been a police case since August 2024. Taka publicly posting that document is a crime and breaks the Sexual Offences Amendment Act 1992, which states a alleged victim of that or that. Obviously, I can't really say this too much on my video, else I'll get bonked. But you guys can see what it says there. It is granted anonymity for life as soon as they report it, which I did back in August 2024. I said, I would love to be able to share my story and evidence. However, it's been all with the police. Since August 2024 onwards, I need to speak to the officer in charge of my case, as well as my crisis advocate, before I can make more of a statement regarding any of this. I know this is the court of public opinion and you want evidence, but what Taka did was a crime and is being handled by the police. It said Twitter has also been made aware that this post is a crime. Unfortunately, it was around midnight he did this, so neither the police officers involved in the investigation or the advocate are awake, so I have to wait till morning to speak about this with them and to make it clear what I can publicly share. So I put none of this public and never wanted it to go public, nor did I want anybody to know that I was a victim of that. I know I can't give evidence right this second, but know the police have had the phone logs and his lawyer's letters since the end of January to February 2025, and as of literally today, 9th of September, when I spoke with them, they were still actively pursuing the investigation. That I've given no one permission to share this story, and most of the people claiming that they've heard my side and spoken to me are lying. I have proof of everything. I claim it is just tied to a police case, which I will provide proof of as soon as the officers in charge of my case, my advocate, are awake. But no, I wouldn't have a police officer in charge and a crisis advocate for nothing. I say once again, this is a police case. None of this should be shown publicly, and outing my name is a crime. Please allow me to the space to speak with the police and the advocate, and know that having a trauma that has almost killed you outed against your will is a trauma I will never forget. I'm a real person with feelings who has suffered for over a year of this. If I must make this clear publicly, then let be my word to listen to as a victim in this investigation. I do not currently consent for anybody to speak on my behalf than my care at the moment. The only consent previously given in the past was to only state there was an ongoing police matter and nothing further. Any posts that targeted the situation publicly were done against my will. If you made a post on my behalf, you did not have my consent. So, yeah, obviously that is her addressing it. Well, you know, obviously Kara posting this on her behalf, right? You can see that this, you know, it's got 46 likes over 21,000 views. That's not great. That's pretty bad. So obviously, yeah, it's an interesting one because, as I said, you know, there's always going to be a follow-up to this. There's always going to be a response from Mistress Doom and maybe some other people as well. And that's why I said you've always got to keep an open mind with this kind of stuff and not, you know, obviously I said Takahata's statement seemed pretty good, but obviously, you know, there could have been other stuff. But there is some kind of inconsistencies with this post, and I think that is why a lot of people have not liked it, due to the fact of her saying, like, this shouldn't have been public and things like that. But obviously she was saying that anybody is saying if you made a post on my behalf, you did not have my consent. But obviously the narrative going around right now is that obviously she was the one that was spreading stuff to other creators, which is pretty interesting. Now, obviously, we do have a little bit more information in Alicia X's life, which shows that she did not spread it to Alicia, at least it seems like. It seems like Takahata was the one that explained it to her, at least from how she's kind of put it out there. But obviously, people saying, I don't know nor follow either of you, so I hope my words are taken into consideration. Unless I'm misunderstanding, you made it public by talking about it to others, who then spread it from there. And two, why would you not correspond with his attorneys or get your own? Which, yeah, it's very interesting because obviously, as you guys know, Takahata actually said that, you know, obviously they were ghosting the attorneys, which I think is pretty interesting, because even if there isn't like an ongoing case or whatever, you know, surely they would speak to each other, right, to get some kind of you know, solution to this, you know. But again, obviously, it seems like that has not happened. And also, at the same time, if what Takahata did was so bad, then why did his own lawyers, his own attorneys, tell him that it was okay to post this? Because again, he clearly got permission from them to post this, as he's been talking to them for a while. He's been silent for a very long time, avoiding talking about this due to a lot of the lawyer stuff, right? So I'm pretty certain he probably consulted his lawyers before posting the post that he did do. So if it was so illegal and so terrible, then why did they also give him the go-ahead? The legal experts, why did they give him the go-ahead to do that? You know, they're saying, we need more proof from you before I can say anything fully. As someone who's been repeatedly, obviously had terrible stuff happen to them, even under emotional duress, you do not fake being friends, asked to still be friends with your abuser. Your lawyers and the police should reach out for criminal proceedings. If you have a case, let the police and the court decide. Said best way to deal with this is to take it offline, regardless of how either of you will go. You will both likely get harassed if you dish this out publicly. I say this because if your physical or mental health is so bad and can't consent or remove consent, you probably can't handle the amount of toxic hate this could send to you. You've already destroyed their online presence once with private accusations to public. You can just let your lawyers do the rest if your side is true. And obviously as well, for example, say the act of that act and right of anonymity is nullified and lost if the person that is regarded as a victim has made themselves known to too many people to the point where you are no longer anonymous, which is where this comes in. Obviously, Alicia saying, my decision to part ways with him was solely based on my conversation with him. And obviously, you can see here as well, said there were other women in the scene who interacted with the victim and know more about her side. I cannot speak on her behalf. And then obviously you got Dora Bunny's post as well, saying, obviously he did some pretty terrible stuff. So yeah, those posts kind of show us that, I think she has been behind the scenes talking to some people, which has already made that situation public. She's the one who made it public in the first place. Obviously, Alicia made this post on the post before Takahata put out the Google Doc. This one where he said, thank you to all that reached out. Essentially said the victim doesn't want to be public, so I haven't gone into detail at all about what happened, which obviously, yeah, it seems like, although I said that she has talked to Takahata, right, it does seem like she hasn't, she has also talked to the victim. I think that obviously she made her decision based off Takahata's conversation with her, but I think that she still has had some kind of contact with her, as she says the victim doesn't want to be public. And so she says they haven't gone into details. So that means there is details there, which she's been told by the victim, which she hasn't really said anything, right? So again, obviously, that kind of proves to me that Mistress Doom has been going around and talking to people and has been making it public when it shouldn't have been public, and she's complaining that he made it public when she was the one that made it public in the first place. I mean, again, it's very, very weird and interesting. Obviously, they say, Taka told me that he had sex with a woman who was under sedatives. She has a 24/7 caretaker because she's mentally cannot take care of herself. Her mother handed her off to him when he came to see her, trusting him and with her care. I said earlier that day, she said that she wanted to do something to herself. She cried on the train with him. When she got to the hotel, she took a lot of pills in front of him. He himself stated he saw her take the pills. Obviously, that does kind of coincide with what Takahata said in his document, but obviously Takahata literally said that he didn't really know what was going on. He didn't really register, what exactly she was taking there. But again, obviously, maybe that is something that needs to go into more detail and exactly what he was thinking behind that. But obviously, yeah, she was saying my decision to part ways with him was solely based off of my conversation with him. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because he was one of my best friends. Regardless, I'm a strong believer in seeing proof of screenshots and talking to the person accused to hear them out. In this situation, I only talked to Taka, the accused, and that alone made me leave. Obviously, she says she only talked to Taka. I wonder if, the victim or whatever, Mistress Doom, actually talked to her afterwards, I'm guessing, because it is very clear that they have talked in some way. He says the victim doesn't want to be public, so I haven't gone into detail. It's clear that she has heard this from somewhere. Now, maybe it's Takahata telling them, but even so, I don't think that's the case. Obviously, I don't know, though. Maybe it's something a little bit more convoluted than that. So regardless, I'm a strong believer in setting through screenshots. I said, in this situation, I only talked to Taka, the accused, and that alone made me leave. There were other women in the scene who interacted with the victim and know more about her side. I cannot speak on behalf of them. As for the screenshots, Taka told me in our final call together, he has a Google Doc with the entire history of their texts. I said, what an abysmally cherry-picked description of events you could have chosen. You did not see the tons of messages that took place between the alleged and the accused. And still you choose to weigh in on this. You can choose not to comment on something if you don't know. That I'm confused. Why did you say that when you were also told the same thing by Taka? Disappointed to see this is your stance. So obviously, yeah. I mean, again, I think obviously Alicia's case is a little bit different. I don't really know what is going on over there. Maybe she just kind of believes something different to do with whatever Taka has said to everybody else, which again, obviously hasn't gained that much support. I'm gonna be honest, it's not looking good, but obviously that's her own opinion, I guess. So again, that's what she had to say about it. Obviously, a lot of people have been saying about stuff on Kurosanchi as well, saying from what people were saying, she voided the anonymity when she shared it to people, and then those people spread it to other people. Additionally, Taka isn't bound by UK laws, so he didn't break any law. I don't think that's the case. I think that he was in the UK, so. Obviously they're saying he didn't break any law because he's not bound by UK laws, but he was in the UK when this happened, so he would still fall under UK law there, surely, right? That just makes sense. I can't just go to another country, break a law, and go, I'm from the UK, it doesn't count over here. That's not how it works. They say things don't look good for her at the moment, and if her follow-up isn't a good one, she's done so. Obviously, they say others have said that if he did and everything she said was true about him breaking the law like this, it would result in a fine and no jail time, which in the face of alleged damages is probably a financial hit he would be willing to take. But yeah, it's just a big mess at this point, and the more people are speaking up. I said this incident happened in the UK and one of the parties is a UK citizen, it may apply. It 100% applies. I don't know why people are kind of even considering this. It literally happened in the UK. Like, bro, that's the whole point. that's how laws work. If you go to their country and you break a law, you've broken the law. Just because you're American or Canadian or whatever, it doesn't matter. You still broke a law in another country. But I'm not saying that Taka did, but obviously, just saying, like, in general, if you go and break a law in another country, you did break that law in that country and you're liable to, you get what I mean. But anyways, it is weird. But obviously that is a situation which is obviously evolving at the moment, and I'm sure there's going to be more responses and replies. We haven't actually had a response from Alicia about the actual Google Doc itself. Obviously, she did kind of mention it there, but again, we only had a statement from her literally a couple hours before the Google Doc actually dropped. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Obviously, that is Mistress Doom's response to this. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Again, I want to know what you guys have to say, what you guys think. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off again. They got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.